Peace, family. Peace, 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 peace. All right. First, I had to change my attitude in order for me to change my life. I hope you guys are having a phenomenal day. If not, do understand it is going to get better, honey. Once you change your perception, everything is going to change. Or, in simpler terms, once you change the way you see things, things will change. So it was 3 things that I had to do in order for me to change my attitude, honey. Let me tell you something. So when I was younger, right, probably about, I want to say from an early age, I had an attitude, right? And the attitude, it wasn't the best. I always would hear from my mother or my aunts, always saying like how my attitude was. My mother would even say at times I had a nasty disposition about myself. And I never seen it, right? Like, you know how when you are some type of way, right, and you've been that way for so long that you don't see that maybe you do have an attitude. One of the things that I knew though was I didn't like what I was getting from life, right? And I always say life is reflecting back to us exactly how we are showing up. At this point in time, honey, I had no clue of none of that. I didn't have a clue of what you give energy to, that thing grows. So if I'm telling my children, constantly all the time that they have a nasty attitude, right? And maybe they do, but if I constantly keep on saying it, that's what they are going to become, because that is going into their subconscious minds, right? And so from an early age, I had a attitude, and I think it was because I really didn't like myself, right? I didn't like the things that I've been through at that time. I didn't like what I was going through, shall I say. And some of those things was in and out of group home. Well, one group home, in and out of, one foster care. I was in a foster home, and then later on, you guys know, I went to juvenile detention center. So from an early age, okay, my life was pretty much going in a certain way that I didn't really understand. I didn't understand it, and I didn't care for it. And oftentimes, I think when we are children, we probably blame ourselves for, certain situations we wind up in. And that's why I always constantly talk about healing yourself, honey, doing the work on yourself, so you won't keep on manifesting the same exact thing. Life is not finna give you something that you say you want, but is going to give you who you are showing up as, okay? And some people say, I'm gonna fake it until I make it. Well, in this here universe, I don't know about the next one, but I know in this here universe, you cannot catfish it, and you are the universe. So you cannot catfish it. The way you showing up, your energy, vibration, frequency, all those things, they matter, and then equals alignment. So if your energy, you got a nasty attitude or whatever it is like that, no matter how fly you may dress, okay? And oftentimes is because of our self-image, right? And I done videos about how to change your self-image, some of the things that you can do to change your self-image. And that was one of the things that I knew I needed to do was change my self-image. And so the 3 things are, okay, because I don't want to drag this out. The 3 things are thoughts, feelings, actions, okay? Now, what I seen in my life, what I had to do was I had to want more from life. And this is generally like where it started, okay? I knew what I was getting. I was sick and tired of getting it. So I knew I had to do something different. And I didn't quite know what that different was. And that's why I always say, You don't need to know all the steps. Only thing you need to do is decide that you want something better from life, and next minute, you know, the universe will conspire to start working in your favor. I like to say the universe is always working in your favor. You got to ask, do you like how it's working in your favor, right? And so what I noticed, I wanted different, and that different was going to cost me. Okay, it was going to cost me something far as getting out of my comfort zone, okay, or extending the comfort, meaning, at times you could be comfortable, but I had to start doing things that I probably necessarily wouldn't do. That was attending seminars, okay, whereas though being in rooms with people I had no clue who they were, okay, didn't have an idea of how it was going to go, right? Because sometimes the ego is, painting all these scenarios of all these different aspects because you are stepping into the unknown, right? And so that was one. Then another thing, I started investing in myself, right? So I started doing things, started giving my money to things that was going to help me evolve as a person and to help me change my thinking. Okay. And you want to be around like-minded individuals, because what you will see is the way your environment is, it will tend to rub off on you. So if you want to be wealthy or, rich or whatever it is best to hang around people that are like that. And even if you can't, find anyone that is in person or whatever, honey, it's so many videos here on YouTube that you can watch. Okay, so that's some of the things that I did, but I needed to change my thoughts. Okay, so from an early age, I used to think that, God didn't care for me, right? I didn't understand too much of the concept of God. Like, I would pray and things would work out a lot in my favor, but it was things that I used to see as though I used to feel like, why I gotta grow up this way and why other people get to grow up a different type of way, right? Like, for instance, I remember when I was living in transitional housing, right? So I could get Section 8. And while I was living there, it was this prep school, this private prep school that was up the street. And the area where the transitional housing program was, it was like wealth, okay, luxury condos. It was like in the dead heart of downtown Jersey City, okay? And what happened was, while I was in this transitional program, I used to see like a lot of these prep boys that were white, and I was jealous. I was envious, because I used to think like, damn, how come they are able to, drive their, they fancy cars and stuff like that, and I'm living in this place, and I wasn't looking at my life far as gratitude. I was comparing myself to someone else, right? And what I had to do was I had to change my thoughts. And later on, I started changing my thoughts because I started understanding, okay, first, you are not your thoughts, okay? But the more you give your energy to those thoughts, right? And they, you feel some type of emotions when you think about those things, it then becomes your reality, right? And so that's some of the things that I had to start understanding. And I had to pretty much change what was going on in my subconscious mind. So the conscious mind, okay, I done wrote some notes down, okay, and I had got this from Bob Proctor. I told you guys, Bob Proctor, honey, he was it, okay. And Bob Proctor was part of The Secret. I did an investment with Bob Proctor, investing in myself, and that was the biggest investment that I have ever done. But I wanted more from life. I wanted different. And I knew for me to get different, although I was afraid, to put up all the money at once, what I did was I paid in increments, because whichever way that I was going to get different, I wanted different. So if it was $1,500 a month to pay the $7,500 off, I was willing to do that. And so that's what I did. Okay. So the conscious mind is the thinking mind, and it is the free will. It accept or reject. Okay. That's your conscious mind. So Bob Proctor has this thing where as though he would write like a circle right here, and the top would be like the conscious, the bottom would be the subconscious mind. And so once the conscious mind, once you start, that's why it's very important what you give your energy to. You paying attention to certain things on the television, you watching the news. Okay, I don't watch the news. But if you watch the news, you have the power to accept it or reject it, right? Whatever it is that they are advertising or showing, okay, you have the power to say, I don't believe this, right? Or you have the power to say, get into that fear vibration and let it consume you, okay? Food for thought. Okay, so the subconscious mind, once the conscious mind accepts it, right? Whatever you put in it, whether you read something, whether you been around, your environment is a major, in fact, a major factor, okay? Or what you are listening to, okay? Those things, if the conscious mind accepts it, okay, it then goes into the subconscious mind. So the subconscious mind is the part of us that is where our habits are. So from a young child, right, even in the womb of your mother's, all those things that you was around, the repetition and everything, those things went into the subconscious mind, right? And that's why we tend to do things sometimes that we don't even know why we do them, right? Somebody from the outside looking in could be like, girl, why you keep going back to that boy, right? And maybe you just like, because he loves me, right? But he's been knocking you upside your head. He's been doing all these different things. And because you are, trying to get love from this individual, you are neglecting all the other factors of it is an unhealthy relationship. Okay. So we have to change our thoughts, our feelings, and actions. Okay. So I had to start changing my feelings, okay? Because the thoughts, like I said, when you constantly thinking certain things, if you don't like those thoughts and you keep on thinking those thoughts, it's going to equal feelings, right? The emotions that you put in there, because emotions are nothing but energy and motion, okay? So I had to start changing my feelings. But in order for me to do so, okay, this is where it's getting interesting, honey. In order for me to start changing my feelings, I had to start working on the subconscious mind. Because a lot of times what it is, we are addicted to certain emotions, okay? And, some people you will see, they complain about their life all the time. They complaining, right? And no matter how much they complaining, maybe a part of you is like, well, why you don't do something different? But they are so addicted to those emotions and those feelings that they believe that that's who they are, right? They really believe that's who they are. And so we can't give something to someone else that we don't have within ourselves, right? So if you're not happy, you can't reflect happiness on the outside. That's why some people, notice, you could look at their lives and you say, damn, they got everything, right? But a part of them, just because they have all the materialized things, that does not make or mean that they are happy. Okay, so we have to change our feelings. And in order to do so, changing our feelings, We choose. Okay, you choose if you want to, look at the glass half full or half empty. Honey, I'm an optimist. I don't even know how to pronounce the other word. Okay, that's how optimistic I am about life. Okay, all right. So actions. After the thoughts, okay, inner feelings, then you take action. So, for instance, my whole thing is I want to inspire millions of people, right? And sometimes maybe it doesn't look that way, right? Maybe it doesn't look that way, right? Maybe the numbers or something. But one of the things that I tend to do is I keep on showing up. I keep on taking action. I keep on listening to things that is inspirational, listening to things that is going to raise my vibration. Keep on listening to things that is let me keep on reminding me that I am the creator of my reality. And that's what's important. That's what you have to understand, honey. Is no one out here that is creating this here life. Okay, you are the one that's creating this life. In the moment we start understanding that I am the creator of my reality, but really understanding you are the creator of your reality, then your life is going to change, because change does not come from outside. Change comes from within. Okay, and some people, they feel, all right, well, I'm going to change the clothes. I'm going to change the location. I'm going to change the jobs. I'm going to change the relationship. I'm going to change this. I'm going to change it. Honey, you can change and change and change all those things outside of you. But honey, if you do not do the work within and change how you are showing up and what you are giving your energy to, and what is going on, what stories are going on in your subconscious mind, to make you keep on living out this force you, not even a real you, living out this force you, living out someone else's belief systems, right? That's as long as you are going to be living in hell. Okay, hell is not a destination. Hell is a frequency. Okay, it is a frequency. And so if you don't like what's going on in your life, you have to change it. And so those are the 3 things that I had to start doing. Okay, I had to change my thoughts, my feelings, my actions. And this is an ongoing thing. Okay, so let me tell you something before I get off of here. Okay, because I gotta go. I could never give you guys anything. Okay, never. All right, I could share my story. I could inspire, okay, by sharing my story and telling you guys, some of the things that I tend to do. But everything is within you already. You have all the answers within you already. Your higher self, okay, not the part of you, the force self, the ego part. I'm talking about your higher self, the part that is not conditioned, the part of you that is not brainwashed, the part of you that is not the matrix. I'm talking about the part of you, your all-knowing self, the God within, okay, your God, okay. And when I say God, what I mean is creator of your reality, okay. You have to understand, you have the ability to change your life like night and day, okay? But you got to be mindful of what you are giving your energy, vibration, and frequency to. What are you giving those things to? What are you paying attention to? And so I hope this helps someone out, okay? Those are some of the things that I had to do. But most importantly, what I had to start realizing was I did not like my life. Okay, and that's what you have to understand, because as long as you're saying, no, my life is good, my life is this, suppressing those emotions about how you truly feel, then your life is not going to get better. Okay, it took me a while to start understanding about my attitude and stuff like that, but what I had to understand was, no, Deena, the universe is never biased. The laws of this here universe, they are fair, okay? And it doesn't care what you plant into your subconscious mind, okay, you are just going to get a return on investment depending on whether it's good or bad. Because in this here universe, there's no good or bad. It's just error. It's for you to see what's going on in your life and say, you know what? I don't care for this. Or ask, why is this showing up? And so when you start asking those things, your life is going to change. And with that being said, I'll catch you guys on the next one. Peace. Make sure you guys like, comment, subscribe. And I'll see you guys on the next video.